Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing one of the most uncommon permutations of 36mm Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust. This is the reference 126200 in stainless steel, domed bezel, Wimbledon dial, and Jubilee bracelet. There is a lot to love. So the watch is 36 millimeters in diameter. It measures 11.7 millimeters thick. Lug to lug, it's 43.2 millimeters, and end link to end link, it is 44.8 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. On the wrist, my wrist is 16 centimeters in circumference. You can see how it wears. Very comfortable, nicely sized, plenty of clearance on both sides. I could easily wear this on a wrist as small as, in my estimation, 13 centimeters circumference. So men and women, feel free to partake. The watch does have a little bit of a dressy look to it with the Wimbledon dial and its Roman numerals and the Jubilee bracelet, but make no mistake, it is a sports watch, and we'll talk about why in just a moment. Rolex, of course, makes its own steel, 904L steel. It has its own foundry. It makes its cases, its bracelets, its clasps. 904L isn't harder than 316, but it is more resistant to corrosion to the point that, like Zinn U-boat steel, Rolex 904L doesn't have to be rinsed after exposure to salt, such as sea salt or sweat. Now, taking a look at the bracelet, you can see that it is all solid center link now. The 5-link Jubilee is now so robust, I actually prefer it for sports use over the 3-link Oyster because you have all of these little vents between the links, so it aerates better on a hot day or during vigorous activity. There's a conforming end profile. You can see the centers are polished, the outer flanks are satinated, but then the outermost faces are polished, so there's a lot of nuance here. Removable links are fixed by screws, and you have many of them, so you're going to get the right size. But you've got other options. There is the Easy Link system, which is 5 millimeters of tool-free in or out adjustment. You don't need to worry about using a tool here. You have an adjustment to make anytime you want on demand. There are also little divots drilled inside the clasp, so you can use your strap tool to move the spring bar and change the anchoring point of the bracelet in the clasp. So you have 3 ways: removable links, Easy Link, and those divots to size up the watch. Now we have a little beak and a hook system with a latching lift lock, so that makes it very easy to keep the watch secure. And you see how that won't pop open? It's not a friction fit system. It's easy to open it, but it's not easy to open it unintentionally. Taking a look at the end of the lugs, they're tapered, they're polished, the case flank is polished, the lug hoods are polished, the bezel is polished. It has a little bit of a milled lip on its outermost face, but then it's domed. This domed profile giving it a little bit of the look of an Oyster Perpetual. We have a twin lock crown, screw down, 100 meters water resistant. Here we have a dial that's called the Wimbledon style. So we have green transferred radially arrayed Roman numerals, including a watchmaker's 4. We have white hash marks with Arabic numerals outboard at each 5-minute station, so they can be used for reading your minutes or your seconds. We have a dark rhodium base. This is a dark rhodium coated dial with a metallic sunburst grain, and then white gold 9 o'clock index, hands, and crown. And they're white gold, so they won't tarnish or oxidize over time. Now the watch is loomed, though with this dial minimally so you're going to have to approximate. And the watch has a Cyclops eye magnifier, so you can more easily see the date. The timepiece does include both a hacking or stop seconds function and a quick set, so you can rapidly set the date just like that. Inside, 70-hour power reserve, automatic winding, manufactured caliber 3235, the same movement you'll find in a Submariner. So this really does have the heart of a sports watch. So it's a chronometer certified by the COSC. Rolex then takes the chronometer certified movement, cases it up, tests it in 6 positions, and assures that prior to leaving the factory as a fully assembled watch, it will run no worse than -2 + 2 seconds per day. 8 beats per second, 31 joules, anti-magnetic, blue oxidized niobium zirconium hairspring. That hairspring is shaped by hand in a Breguet overcoil format so that it keeps even time regardless of the position of your watch, so it's a very good timekeeper. The 3235 compared to the 3135 has a winding rotor bearing rather than a jeweled staff, so it's more shock tolerant, and the watch uses a full balance bridge with a free sprung balance for both precise adjustment via micro-stella nuts and better resistant to shock-induced damage and timing deviation. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing details.